Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sydney Mabaso. What a privilege again to be gathering together with the Brightstar team. I regard the whole team as accountability partners for me in my journey with Brightstar. I'm going to be sharing today creating a circle of accountability, which I believe it will, spark or bring a spark on our journey in this in the Brightstar as well, or it will help that our fire should not be quenched, as we go that. Why accountability? Okay, how do we define accountability? A simple definition of accountability is the act of being answerable to someone, subjecting yourself to review by means of being answerable to someone. We all are answerable to someone. Sometimes it cannot necessarily be a person, but it's an ideal that you have, that you want to cherish to. You answer to a vision, or you answer to, a particular belief that we have. And then a further definition again of accountability is that it is the acceptance of responsibility for one's actions. Accountability also implies a willingness to be judged on performance. You are willing to be scrutinized to see whatever you promised is actually being fulfilled. That is another definition. Okay. Why accountability? It helps, to provide reinforcement for encouragement in reaching your goals. And also when you help each other in carrying your burden, it does not necessarily eliminate temptations, but at least you know that you can stay on course. There's somebody, who is there for you, who believes in you, which is critical in that one. Obviously, I cannot go without quoting the Bible. In Ecclesiastes 4:9, it says, two are better than one because they have a good reward for their labor. So when you have an accountability partner, it's easier for you to reach the goal that you are going through. Now, we're going to be focusing on choosing an accountability partner in the sense that as human beings, we are wired to be amongst humans because that's how we reflect our progress. We see each other, we are human. That is why I say a person is a person through other people. But it is important to know how to choose an accountability partner. For this session, I'll just focus on how to choose one. But let's look at briefly as to some of the steps on choosing one. It has to be the person of the same sex, because sometimes the intimate things, that you will be going through in your thought life that you want to share with the person. Yes, also choose a peer, a person who is more or less equal to you, not a person who is, because it's different from mentoring or a counselor. Here you need support and encouragement. And thirdly, pick somebody who is spiritually maturing as you. Biblically, it might be some person who is sort of the same, having the same aspirations to grow spiritually as you. It must be a person who's behaviorally focused, who's not likely to cause you to go off course, and also cognitively clean, because remember now our thoughts determines what our behavior will be like. So not a person who can easily pollute your thoughts, because that's a lot of work again that you have to work on, cleaning your thoughts. Again, emotionally relevant. A person must be open. There must be openness and truth in terms of helping you in this particular journey that you have agreed to go with, and spiritually renewed. As I said earlier on, it must be the same faith and the same spiritual desire or spiritual goals that you would also want to have. So in that category, it's on spiritual maturing, that those four things are very important on that one. And then again, it must be a non-judgmental person, a person who's able to tell you the truth, but not judge you, because remember, when you're sharing your innermost thoughts, you must be, there must be an environment where there is non-judgmental, where you won't be able to judge, because when you are vulnerable to that person, at least then you'll feel free to grow within that person, because you'll know that you are at point A, but not you are at point B. And remember, this is also reciprocal. The likelihood is that as you account to the person, or you account to her, she also accounts to you. And I think married people find it very easy, maybe understanding this concept, because there are areas where you find that they do the very same one, although it's not the same sex. Okay. And then number 5, understanding of own brokenness. A person who you want to be answerable to must not withhold her own brokenness, and must not be a person who still does not understand how it is to be broken. Because at some point you will reach that point where you'll really feel, you're broken, because that's one of the roles of accountability partner, to help you, to lift you up, to say, look, you can do it. You are not far from it. You can do it. But once he also understands his own brokenness, it's easy to be empathetic to your brokenness as you go through the journey, because it's not going to be a very easy journey when you want to reach whatever goal that you've got. And second last step is also how you choose an accountability partner. It must be a trustworthy person. Remember, at the age, also depending on the peer in terms of the level at which you are, confidentiality plays a very important role. It might affect not only you, even your own circle, as you are, subjecting yourself to this accountability partner process. You must ask the person about confidentiality, whether there was an instance where the person broke the confidentiality of his close aide or any other person that was close to him. And very important there also to ask, what were the circumstances, because some people may share your information with their partners, with their loved ones, not because they're breaking confidentiality deliberately, but because of they're debriefing, or they're dealing with the shock, or they are dealing with the excitement sometimes about what they've had. So once you discuss this aspect, you can understand to say, okay, what levels of relative confidentiality will you allow with your person, but at least it's a trustworthy person, So you need to look at the response when you ask this question. Is he comfortable about when you ask about confidentiality? Is he open, or he say, please don't overshare because I cannot keep confidentiality? That is also important, because other people are open. Say, please don't overshare because, hey, I cannot hold myself for not sharing. So just this one is enough. I don't need too much detail. And that shows that person is a trustworthy person to can actually give you the feedback as well in terms of your growth. And lastly, the person must have the capacity to speak the truth in love, because in truth, then you will grow. The person must, be able to tell you the truth. Hey, this you've done wrong. This is you didn't do right. And obviously, it's only the person of respect and trust that you respect and trust. Because remember, willingness to hear and act on the truth is very vital for your progress. Because sometimes truth hurts, but it definitely sets you free. It will set you free. And in conclusion, as I say, the creation of a circle of accountability starts with knowing how to choose the right AP, that is the accountability partner. And I think if you look at our lives, some of us, we do have already, but it might have not been so, looking at it in this manner or so formal. And then also it will help to fire, as I said, your spark for your passion to never be easily quenched. And also willingness to be answerable is profitable for progress. So that accountability partner provides that opportunity to be answerable to somebody else without judgment, without punishment, but with the idea that I want to grow. Thank you very much.